How did one camping weekend turn into a stranger in my office lobby, handing me a thick envelope with my name on it? Why did my husband look calm when I opened it and saw a temporary plan that started today? About our home, our money, and our kids. I thought my best friend would cover for me. She did the opposite. My name is Melisande Crowe, and most people call me Mel because they cannot say the full name without making a face. I was 33 then. I worked in patient billing at a clinic where the lights were bright and the talk was small, but the gossip was big. I knew how to sound calm on the phone while moving numbers around. I knew how to smile like nothing could touch me. I also knew how to tell a story before anyone else could. That part mattered. People believe the first version they hear, even if it is not clean. At home, Ethan was steady in the way a wall is steady. He was 35, and he liked lists. He liked our bills paid on time. He liked our son Milo's homework checked before cartoons. He liked our daughter Sadie's bedtime at the same hour every night. He did not shout. He did not slam doors. He asked questions the way a person checks a lock twice. When he asked why I stayed late at work, I said the clinic was short-staffed. When he asked why I carried my phone from room to room, I said I needed it for school messages. When he asked why I started going to the climbing gym, I said my back hurt and I needed strength. I said it all like he was silly for even asking. I started telling myself I was tired of being managed. I used that word a lot. I said Ethan managed the house like a project, and I was not a task. I said I needed air. I said I needed space. I said I needed to feel like a person again. I still think I sounded reasonable. The truth is, I liked the way Tanner looked at me at the gym. Tanner Wells was the kind of man who talked like every day was an adventure. He was not part of my life, so he did not see my mess. He asked what I wanted, and he listened like it was a secret. When he asked if Ethan supported my new hobbies, I said Ethan was trying to act supportive, but it did not feel real. I made Ethan sound like a fake hero. It was easier that way. At work, I practiced my version out loud. In the break room, I told Kelsey Park and 2 other women that Ethan did not understand me. I said he questioned everything. I said he made me feel guilty for wanting time alone. Kelsey asked if Ethan ever yelled. I said he did not yell, but I said his silence was worse. I said it was like living with a judge who never said the sentence, only looked at you. I watched their faces tighten in the right places. I watched them nod. I learned a long time ago that people do not need proof. They need a feeling. If I could give them that, I could do what I wanted and still look like the hurt one. That week, I started planning a reset weekend. I used that phrase again and again. I left a browser tab open on camping basics and let Ethan see it by accident. I knew he would notice. He asked what it was. I said I wanted to go camping to clear my head. He asked if I wanted him to come. I said I needed to go alone because I needed to breathe without anyone watching me. He asked where I planned to go. I said I had not decided. He asked if I planned to go with anyone. I said it was strange that he even asked. I told him he should trust me. I watched him blink and swallow like he was trying to stay calm on purpose. That calm made me feel powerful and angry at the same time. In the kitchen, I kept pushing the line. I did not do it with big fights. I did it with small cuts. I left my phone face down when he walked in. I stepped outside to take a call and came back smiling too late. When he asked why I was smiling, I said I was thinking about how nice it would be to have peace. When he asked what peace meant, I said he proved my point by making it a debate. I could see him trying to choose the right words. That made me feel like the smart one. I wanted him to chase me. I wanted him to beg me to stay happy. I told myself that was normal, like a test any marriage should pass. The kids were around all of it, which I pretended not to notice. Milo sat at the table and pushed peas in a circle. Sadie climbed into her booster seat and sang to her cup. Ethan tried to keep their routine smooth. He asked Milo about school. He asked Sadie if she wanted apples or crackers. I watched him do it and I told myself he was performing. I told myself he wanted to look like the perfect dad so people would take his side if I ever broke. I thought like that, even when nothing was happening. I told myself I needed to protect my future self. If I sound cold, it is because I was busy building a shield. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. My sister Brielle called one night while Ethan washed dishes. Brielle asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, but Ethan was acting weird. Brielle asked what he did. I said he kept asking where I went and who I talked to. Brielle said a husband should not treat a wife like a suspect. My mom, Dawn, texted after that and said I deserved joy and I should not shrink myself to fit a man's comfort. I showed Ethan the text on purpose, like it was proof. He glanced at it and said nothing. He rinsed a plate and set it in the rack. I hated that he did not react. I wanted him to snap so I could point and say, "See?" 2 days later, I came home and found the house too quiet. Ethan was at the table with his laptop. He had a plain folder beside him with a label that said, "Utilities." I pretended not to see it. He closed a browser tab fast and tapped his phone screen once, like he was ending something. Milo ran in and told me about a spelling quiz. I nodded and kissed his head, but my eyes stayed on Ethan's hands. I asked him what he was working on. He said he was organizing a few things. I asked why he needed to organize a few things now. He said he liked the house to run smooth. His voice was even, like he was reading a line he had practiced. Then his phone lit up on the table, bright for a second in the dim room. I saw a calendar reminder. It said, "Meeting, personal 9:10 a.m. I did not know why, but my stomach dipped like a step that was not there. Ethan turned the screen down without looking at me. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself he was trying to scare me. But I also felt something else, small and sharp. For the first time, I wondered if he was moving without me. I told myself the camping idea was healthy. I said it out loud in the clinic break room so it would sound true. I said I needed a reset weekend, just 2 nights, no drama, no phones, no pressure. Kelsey leaned on the counter and asked if Ethan was okay with it. I said he would be, if he cared about my mental health. I said I was not his employee. I said I was not asking permission. I was informing him like an adult. The other women nodded, like I had said something brave. Tanner texted me during lunch. He asked if I still wanted to go Friday after work. I said yes, but I told him to keep it simple. I said people always assume the worst. He replied like it was funny. He said people only assume what they would do. That line made me feel seen and safe at the same time. It also made me feel like Ethan was the kind of person who assumed the worst because he had a dark mind. That was not fair, but it helped my story. After work, I went to an outdoor supply store for basics. I chose a store far from our neighborhood because I did not want a neighbor to see me. I told myself that was just privacy. I bought 2 sleeping pads by accident, or at least that is what I told myself. One was on sale, so it would be stupid not to get it, right? I also bought a small cooler and a pack of battery lights. I paid with my card because I did not want to stand there counting cash like I had something to hide. The cashier asked if I was going with friends. I said I was going alone, like it was normal. My face did not change. I liked that. At home, Ethan noticed the bag as soon as I walked in. He asked what I bought. I said just supplies. He asked why I needed 2 pads. I said one was for comfort and one was a backup. He asked where I planned to camp. I said I was still deciding. He asked if I wanted him to look up safe places. I said no, because then it would feel like his trip too. He asked if I was going with Tanner. I acted like he had slapped me with words. I asked why he kept saying Tanner's name. I said Tanner was just a gym friend who knew trails. Ethan asked if that meant Tanner would be there. I said Ethan was twisting it. He did not shout. He did not tell me I could not go. That made my anger rise in a slow way, like heat under a lid. I wanted him to stand in the doorway and demand I stay, so I could call him controlling. Instead, he nodded once and asked what time I would leave. I said after work on Friday. He asked when I would be back. I said Sunday afternoon. He asked if I could still take Milo to his friend's birthday party on Sunday. I said of course, like I was doing him a favor. Then I went to our bedroom and closed the door with a little extra force so he would feel something. Friday came fast. I wore my gym hoodie to work, like I was already outdoors. At my desk, I kept my phone close. Tanner sent a message with a pin for a meeting spot near a highway exit. He said we could grab snacks and ice at the gas station. I read it twice, then I deleted it. I did not want Ethan to see it by accident, because Ethan sometimes used my phone to play music for the kids. I told myself deleting was normal because my phone was messy. That is what I told myself. Before leaving, I posted a photo of my packed bag on social media. I did not show anything personal. I only showed the bag and a mug of tea. I wrote a caption about resetting my nervous system. I knew people would react kindly to that. Kelsey commented with heart emojis. Brielle wrote that I deserved peace. My mum shared it and wrote something about women needing space. I liked how it looked. It felt like proof that I was good. At 5:30, I walked out of the clinic and did not look back. In the parking lot, I saw Ethan's car on the far side, near the trees. For a second, I wondered if he was there, watching. My chest got tight, but then I saw it was just another grey car. I laughed at myself and felt insulted by my own nerves. I drove to the highway like I was doing nothing wrong. At the gas station, Tanner was already there. He leaned on his truck like he owned the air around him. He asked if I was excited. I said I was tired and needed quiet, like I was still the healing version of myself. He asked if Ethan knew where I was. I said Ethan knew I was camping, and that was enough. Tanner asked if Ethan trusted me. I said Ethan did not know how to trust anyone. I said he had that kind of mind. Tanner nodded like he understood. Inside, I bought trail mix, water, and ice. Tanner bought burgers and soda. The cashier asked if we were headed to the lake. Tanner said yes, in a casual way. I did not correct him. I told myself it did not count because words are flexible. We walked out with our bags and the sun was low. I felt light, like the world had forgiven me already. On the drive, Tanner played music I did not know. He kept talking about how people trap themselves in boring lives. He said, most partners only love the idea of you. I said Ethan loved the routine, not me. Tanner asked if Ethan ever made me feel chosen. I said not lately. That was also flexible truth. Ethan chose me in 1,000 small ways, but I did not want to count those. I wanted to count only the moments that supported my mood. We reached the campground near dark. There was a small kiosk and a loop road with signs. Tanner went to pay the fee. I stayed in the truck and fixed my hair in the mirror, like that mattered in the woods. A family in a minivan drove past slowly. The mother looked at me, then at Tanner, then away. I told myself she was judging because she was jealous. That was my favorite excuse. Later, when my phone had service for a moment, I saw a notification pop up. It said, "File uploaded successfully." It was from a cloud app I barely remembered installing. I stared at it and felt a strange cold spot in my stomach. I did not open it. I turned my screen off and put the phone face down. Tanner asked what was wrong. I said it was nothing, just work emails trying to ruin my weekend. Then I smiled, because I wanted the night to stay smooth. I thought I was in control. I thought the only risk was Ethan's feelings, and feelings can be talked around. I did not think about timestamps, receipts, parking logs, or other people's eyes. I did not think about Kelsey seeing my posts and starting to connect dots. I only thought about how nice it was to step out of my life for a while, as if stepping out meant nothing would be waiting when I stepped back in. On Sunday afternoon, I drove back like I was returning from a healthy retreat. I rolled my shoulders at red lights and practiced a soft face, the kind people read as tired but proud. I stopped at a supermarket close to home and bought fruit and bread, so I would walk in with bags like a normal wife. I even took a photo of the sky in the parking lot and posted it with a line about quiet wins. It felt smart. It felt like insurance. Ethan met me in the kitchen. Milo ran to me first and hugged my legs. Sadie held up a toy and said my name like it was a song. Ethan asked if the trip helped. I said yes, and that I felt lighter. He asked where I camped. I gave a name that was close enough to the real area but not exact. He asked if I met anyone. I said I kept to myself because I needed time alone. He nodded and said, okay. His voice stayed flat, like a door that would not open. That night, I tried to act normal. I made pasta and asked Milo about school. Ethan washed dishes and said almost nothing. I told myself he was sulking to punish me. I told myself he wanted me to feel guilty. I decided I would not give him that reward. When he asked if I could help with Sadie's bath, I said I was unpacking and I needed rest. I sat on the couch and scrolled my phone where he could see me, like a small dare. By Monday, my story had grown legs. Kelsey had told people at the gym that I went camping to reset. My sister had told my mom's friends that Ethan did not understand my needs. At work, I walked in expecting sympathy, and I got it. A coworker asked if I felt better. I said I did, but I said going home was hard because Ethan turned everything into a question. She frowned like he was guilty of something. That felt good. Then a different feeling hit, quick and sharp. In my notifications, there was a comment under my weekend post. A mutual acquaintance, a woman named Janelle, who lived near the trails, had written something playful. She said she saw me at the campground loop and hoped I had fun with your guy. She added a location tag like it was cute. My stomach tightened. I clicked her name and saw she had a public profile with lots of local friends. I could not control who would see it. I acted fast. I replied with laughing emojis and wrote that people always assume things. I made it sound like a joke. Then I sent Janelle a private message. I asked what she meant by your guy. I said I was alone and she must be confused. I used a sweet tone, but my fingers were tense. She replied that she was pretty sure because she saw the truck and she saw me in the passenger seat. She said, no big deal, just funny. I told her to please delete the comment because it invited gossip. She said she would, but she did not do it right away. I walked into the clinic and tried to keep my face smooth. In the break room, Kelsey asked how the weekend was. I said it was healing, but Ethan was acting cold. Kelsey asked if Ethan said anything. I said he kept asking about details. I said it felt like an interrogation. Kelsey made a face and said that was not fair. I leaned into that. I said trust should be the default in a marriage. I said I should not have to report my steps like a child. At lunch, Tanner texted me a photo of a campfire from his phone. He wrote that he missed the quiet. I stared at it and felt heat in my chest. I also felt panic. I did not reply. I deleted the message. I told myself it was for my peace. That evening, Kelsey invited me to a rooftop bar with a few friends. I said yes because I needed the group. I needed noise. I needed people to agree with my version. When I arrived, the table was loud and bright. Someone asked where Ethan was. I said he stayed home because he liked routines more than fun. They laughed. I laughed too, a little too hard. A friend named Marcy asked if Ethan was still being weird. I said yes and that he was acting like I betrayed him just because I wanted one weekend. Marcy said men always make women feel guilty for breathing. I nodded and said exactly. I said I had carried the emotional load for years. I said I did everything for the kids and the house and still got questioned. It was not true in a fair way, but it was true in a useful way. Later, someone brought up the comment on my post. Kelsey showed it to the table like it was funny. She asked who your guy was. I smiled and said people were dramatic. I said it was probably a random camper, and the woman was bored. Marcy said Ethan probably planted it to embarrass me. I did not correct her. I let that idea sit there. It was a gift. When I got home, Ethan was in the living room with the kids' backpacks lined up by the door. He asked if I had a good night. I said yes, and that I deserved it. He asked why a stranger said she saw me with a man at the campground. I pretended surprise like I had just learned it. I said, people make up stories online. He asked if Tanner was there. I said Ethan was obsessed with Tanner, and it was unhealthy. He asked why I got defensive. I said I was tired of being accused. He asked again, more quietly, if Tanner was there. I said no. I looked right at him when I said it, like that could bend reality. He did not argue. He only said he did not like lies. I said I did not like controlling behavior. I said if he kept this up, he would push me away for real. He asked what that meant. I said it meant he should stop before he lost me. I watched his face change, but not into anger. It changed into something closed. That scared me more than yelling would have. The next morning at work, my manager sent a message asking me to step into her office. She said it was just a quick word. When I walked in, I saw a printed screenshot on her desk. It was my social media post with the campground tag and the comment about your guy. My manager asked if everything was okay at home because patients had found my profile, and it looked unprofessional. I said it was a misunderstanding, and I was being targeted. I said my husband was being difficult, and people were joining in. She asked if I could take the post down. I said yes, but I said it felt unfair that my private life was being watched. She said it was not private if it was public. I nodded like I accepted that, but inside, I felt insulted. I left her office and my phone buzzed. It was a message preview from Kelsey. She said she needed to talk, and she said it was important. The house felt different after that manager meeting, like someone had moved the furniture in my mind. I walked in and saw 2 mugs on the counter, far apart like they did not know each other. It was a small thing, but it made me angry because it looked like a statement. Ethan was at the stove, making plain food for the kids. He asked how my day was. I said it was annoying because people would not mind their own business. He asked what happened. I said work was being unfair and someone was trying to embarrass me online. He asked if the post was still up. I said I took it down because my manager forced me. He nodded once, slow like he was saving that fact somewhere. Milo came in holding a paper from school. He asked if I could sign it. I said yes, but I barely read it. Sadie tugged my sleeve and asked if I would read her book later. I said I would, but my voice was thin. Ethan asked if I wanted to talk after the kids slept. I said there was nothing to talk about unless he wanted to apologize for acting suspicious. He looked at me for a second. Then he said, okay. He did not argue. He turned back to the food. That calm started to feel like a wall I could not climb. I told myself he was doing it to punish me. I told myself he was trying to make me feel alone. I also told myself I could fix it by pushing harder, like pressing on a bruise, until it proves you are hurt. Later, I saw him on the stairwell landing with his phone in his hand. The light from the screen was bright on his face. He did not see me at first. I heard a soft beep, like an alarm. I caught the words, paper drop, before he tapped the screen. I asked what that was. He said it was a reminder. I asked for what. He said for errands. His voice stayed even, too even. I asked why he needed reminders now. He said he liked being organized. I told him he was acting strange. He asked if I wanted him to stop being organized. I said no, but I said he was doing it to make me look guilty. He said he was not trying to make me look like anything. He said he wanted the kids to have stability. The next morning, I joined the school pickup line on purpose. I told myself it was because I missed the kids. The truth is, I wanted to be seen as the normal mom, not the woman people whispered about. The line moved slow. Cars crept forward like tired animals. I saw Patricia, Ethan's mother, standing near the gate with another grandparent. She waved, polite. I waved back like we were fine. When Milo got in the car, he asked why Dad did breakfast without me. I said Dad liked doing breakfast because he liked control. Milo frowned and said, Dad did not seem mad. I said that was because Dad hid his feelings. Milo asked if I was mad. I said no, but my hand squeezed the steering wheel. Sadie started to sing a little song from daycare, and it made me feel guilty in a way I did not want, so I pushed it away. At home, Ethan was in the guest room again. The door was half open. I saw a spreadsheet on his laptop screen. Just rows and columns, nothing named. I asked what it was. He said he was tracking household costs because prices were changing. I laughed and asked if he thought I was going to steal groceries. He said no and kept his eyes on the screen. He asked if I could tell him what I spent on the outdoor store and gas because it would help his tracking. I said he was being ridiculous. He said, okay. Then he wrote something down on a small notepad anyway. I hated that he did not chase the argument. I hated that he kept moving forward without needing my approval. That afternoon, my mum called. She asked how things were. I said Ethan was acting cold and distant, and he was making the kids feel it. I used the kids as my shield because it always worked with her. She asked if he yelled. I said he did not, but I said he punished me with silence and spreadsheets. My mum said men do that when they want to scare women into behaving. She said I should not let him win. I said I would not. Brielle invited us to a family dinner at a restaurant with a long table, like a reunion. I told Ethan we had to go because people were starting to ask questions, and showing up would prove we were fine. He asked if I wanted him there. I said yes, like it was a test he should pass. He said, okay. He did not sound grateful. He sounded neutral. The restaurant was loud, bright, and full of clinking plates. My mom sat near me like a god. Brielle sat across and kept giving me looks, like I was the main character in a story she helped write. Ethan sat at the end of the table with Milo and Sadie close. Patricia and Gordon were there too, calm and quiet. People talked about work and weather. I kept waiting for someone to mention my weekend. It took only 10 minutes. My mum asked Ethan why he looked so serious lately. Ethan said he was tired. My mum asked if he was tired because he made things tense at home. Ethan said he did not want tension. He said he wanted clarity and calm for the kids. My mum said I needed freedom, not rules. Ethan said freedom still needed honesty. The table went quiet for a second. I jumped in fast. I said Ethan was trying to paint me as dishonest because he did not like that I had friends and hobbies. I said he wanted to isolate me. I said he made me feel watched. Ethan did not deny my feelings. He only said he did not control my choices, and he never had. That was true, and it made me furious. I wanted him to be wrong in an obvious way. I wanted him to slip. Instead, he stayed careful, like he was aware of every ear around us. Patricia spoke softly and said, kids do best when adults do not fight in public. Brielle rolled her eyes and said, nobody was fighting. It was just truth. Gordon said nothing, but he watched me with the kind of attention that felt like a camera. Milo tried to change the subject. He asked if we could go to the park after dinner. I said maybe, but Ethan said it was late, and the kids needed sleep. Milo looked down and picked at his food. Sadie got sleepy and leaned into Ethan's side. Seeing her choose him like that made my chest tighten. I told myself it was because he spoiled her. I told myself it was because he had more time with her lately. I did not let myself admit that he felt safe. On the drive home, Ethan asked if we could keep adult talks private from now on. I said he was trying to silence me. He said he was trying to protect the kids from stress. I said the kids were stressed because he acted like a stranger in our house. He said he was not a stranger. He said he was being careful. That word hit me. Careful, like he was handling something fragile that could break. When we got home, he carried Sadie inside without looking at me. I stood in the hallway and listened to the house settle. From the guest room, I heard a locked drawer click, soft but clear. Then the printer in the office made a sound and spit a blank page into the tray, like a mistake. I stared at that page longer than I should have, and I told myself it meant nothing, but my stomach kept that cold spot, and it did not go away. Kelsey asked me to meet her at the playground near Milo's school. It was late afternoon and the air was cold. Kids ran in circles and parents stared at their phones. I sat on a bench and tried to look relaxed, like I was the normal one. Kelsey arrived with coffee in her hand, but she did not drink it. Her eyes kept moving, like she expected someone to appear. She said she needed to ask me something serious. I told her she was being dramatic. She said she had a bad feeling, and she did not like being in the middle. I asked what middle meant, since this was my marriage, not a group project. She said people were asking her questions, and she did not know what to say anymore. I asked who was asking. She said Rowan had seen my campground post before I deleted it, and he had seen the comment too. She said he asked why my story did not match what people saw. I said Rowan always judged, and he needed a hobby. Kelsey kept going. She said she wanted to help me, but she also did not want to lie for me. I laughed and asked why she was acting like I committed a crime. She said it was not about crime, it was about truth. She said Ethan looked tired and calm in a scary way, and she did not like it. I told her Ethan had always been calm in a scary way, and that was exactly the problem. I said his calm was a weapon. I said he made people feel guilty without saying anything. Kelsey frowned like she wanted to believe me, but her face did not settle. She asked straight out if Tanner went with me. I felt heat rise in my cheeks, and I turned it into anger. I asked why she cared so much. I asked if she was secretly on Ethan's side. She said it was not sides. She said she did not want to be used. I told her a best friend should protect me from judgment, not join it. I said I was going through something, and she was supposed to hold space for me. I used all the soft words that make selfish choices sound like therapy. Kelsey said she saw Tanner's truck at the gas station on Friday. She said she drove past by accident and recognized it because he parked at the gym the same way every time. My chest tightened. I told her she was imagining it. She said she was not. She said she did not talk to me that night because she hoped it was nothing. But then the campground comment happened, and now she felt sick. I told her it was unfair that one truck meant anything. I said Tanner was a friend and friends can exist. She asked why I deleted messages then. I said everyone deletes messages, and she was acting weird. Milo ran up and asked if we were going home soon. I said yes. He asked why Kelsey looked sad. Kelsey said she was just tired. I told Milo not to worry, and I ruffled his hair like that fixed everything. Kelsey watched me do it, and her eyes got wet. She said she could not stop thinking about the kids. She said Milo was already asking why Dad looked quiet. I told her kids ask questions about everything, and it does not mean anything. I said Ethan was choosing to be quiet to control the mood. I said he wanted me to look like the bad one. Kelsey shook her head like she did not fully accept it, but she did not argue. After the playground, I drove to the supermarket. I wanted to feel normal and also prove I was still in charge of the house. I grabbed a basket and walked fast, like speed could erase anxiety. At self-checkout, I scanned items and watched the screen. Milk, bread, apples, cereal, regular life. Then my phone buzzed and I saw a missed call from an unknown number. No name, no photo, just a blank line. I stared at it. I told myself it was spam. When I got home, Ethan was in the living room with Milo building something from blocks. Sadie was coloring at the coffee table. Ethan looked up and asked if I found what we needed. I said yes, and set the bags down hard, like a point. He asked how the playground was. I said it was fine. He asked if I spoke to Kelsey. I asked why he cared. He said he liked knowing the kids' plans, and Kelsey was part of our circle. I said he did not get to call my friends our circle when he never wanted to join anything. He did not bite. He said he liked knowing the kids' plans, and Kelsey was part of our circle. I said he did not get to call my friends our circle when he never wanted to join anything. He did not bite. He said he liked knowing the kids' plans, and Kelsey was part of our circle. I said he did not get to call my friends our circle when he never wanted to join anything. He only nodded once and went back to Milo's blocks. That calm again. I felt a sharp urge to poke it until it broke. I asked why he was acting like a robot. He asked what I meant. I said he was cold and distant, and it was hurting the kids. He asked how it was hurting them. I said Milo could feel it. I said Sadie clung to him because he made the house tense. Ethan said Sadie clung because she was 4 and she wanted comfort. He said the kids needed adults to be steady. I said he was making it sound like I was unstable. He said he was not labeling me. He said he was focusing on what he could control. I followed him into the kitchen. I saw a sticky note on the counter that said, "Bring forms." I pretended not to see it, but my eyes stuck to it anyway. Ethan opened a drawer and I heard a soft click, like a lock. He took out a keyring and I noticed a new key I had never seen. I asked what it was for. He said it was for storage. I asked what storage. He said we had extra items and it was practical. I said it felt secret. He said it was not secret, it was organized. He said he wanted to keep things simple. My phone buzzed again, unknown number. This time it rang twice and stopped. Ethan glanced at it and looked away. I asked if he knew who it was. He said he did not. His voice stayed flat. I felt a small fear, like standing near a train track and hearing the sound before you see it. That night, when the kids were in bed, I tried a different approach. I softened my voice and asked Ethan if we could reset. He asked what reset meant. I said it meant he should stop punishing me with silence. He said he was not punishing me. He said he was protecting himself and the kids from chaos. I said I was not chaos. He said the last weeks felt chaotic. I asked if he wanted to divorce me. He did not answer right away. He looked down at the counter like he was choosing a safe place to put his words. Then he said he would handle things properly. The word properly made my stomach drop. I asked what that meant. He said it meant he would not argue in circles anymore. He said it meant he would do what was correct and calm for the kids and for the house. I asked if he was threatening me. He said no, he was informing me. I tried to laugh it off, but my voice came out thin. My phone buzzed again with the unknown number, and this time I did not feel like it was spam at all. I went to work the next day like I could still outrun the word properly. I put on a neat blouse and lipstick that looked calm. I told myself Ethan was trying to scare me, not actually do anything. I told myself that if he did something, it would make him the villain again. I could work with that. I could cry. I could post. I could collect sympathy like rent. At lunch, my phone buzzed with a text from Kelsey. She said she needed to tell me something, and she said she was sorry. She said she had talked to Ethan. She said she told him everything she knew, including the gas station and the campground comment, and she said she could not carry it anymore. She said she did not want to hurt the kids, and she did not want to be part of lies. I stared at her message until the words stopped looking like words. I replied fast. I asked why she would betray me. I said she was jealous. I said she always wanted to be the good girl in every story. She replied that it was not about being good, it was about stopping harm. She said Ethan did not yell at her. She said he only listened, asked dates, and took notes. She said his voice was calm and tired. She said she thought he had been planning for a while. I tried to breathe through my nose like my therapist videos told me to. I told myself I still had control. I told myself Ethan did not have proof. I told myself feelings are not proof. An hour later, my manager messaged me and asked if I could come downstairs for a quick check-in with building security. She said there was someone in the lobby asking for me by full name. My first thought was spam. Then my second thought was that unknown number. My hands got cold. I stood up too fast and my chair scraped loud on the floor. In the elevator, I practiced a confused face. I told myself it might be a package delivery mistake. I told myself it might be a medical billing issue. I told myself anything but the thing that made my stomach twist. The office tower lobby smelled like coffee and floor cleaner. People moved past with badges and bags. Near the front desk, a man in a plain jacket stood with a clipboard. A security guard stood beside him. My manager waited a few steps back, like she did not want to be in the frame of this moment. I saw Ethan near the glass doors, not close to me, not touching anything, just standing with his hands in his coat pockets. He looked like he was waiting for a bus. The man with the clipboard asked if I was Melisande Crowe. I said yes and asked what this was. He said he had documents for me, and he needed to confirm my identity. I asked if Ethan sent him. The man said he could not discuss details, and he just needed me to accept service. I said it felt inappropriate to do this at my workplace. He said he was authorized to serve me in a public place, and he would keep it brief. I looked at Ethan and waited for him to show something, anger or triumph. He did not. He looked at me like he had already finished the emotional part somewhere else. He said, very calmly, that he wanted everything handled properly. He said he would follow whatever the temporary plan said. He said he did not want drama in front of strangers. That line should have made me look better. It did not. It made him look sane. I tried to take control by speaking louder. I told the security guard that I was being harassed. I said my husband was punishing me. I said he was trying to embarrass me at work. The guard asked if I felt unsafe. I said I felt targeted. He asked if Ethan threatened me. I hesitated because Ethan had not threatened me. I said he was using paper to threaten me. The guard said he could not intervene in a civil service unless there was a disturbance. He asked everyone to stay calm. Ethan stayed calm like it was easy. The man held out a thick envelope. He asked me to take it. I did not want to touch it, but not taking it would not erase it. I took it with 2 fingers like it was dirty. The man asked me to sign that I received it. I said I was not signing anything. He said I did not have to sign, and he would note that I refused, but service still counted. He said he would leave now. He walked away without looking back. My manager whispered my name like she wanted me to stop. I could feel eyes on me from people waiting at the coffee kiosk. I hated them for watching, even though I was the one who had used crowds before. Ethan still stood near the doors, not approaching me, not cornering me, not raising his voice. He acted like the lobby had rules and he respected them. I opened the envelope because my hands moved on their own. The top page had formal language, and my name printed cleanly, like a label on a file. I saw words I did not want to see. Petition, temporary, schedule, restriction. The letters were black and calm, and they did not care about my feelings. I flipped through, and my breath got shallow. There was a temporary parenting plan starting today. It listed pickup times and drop-off times. It said we both had to keep routine steady and not speak badly about the other parent to the children. It described school days, weekends, holidays. It was so detailed, it felt like someone had already decided my life without asking me. There was a temporary financial order too. It said neither of us could move, hide, or drain funds. It said no large withdrawals without agreement. It said basic expenses could continue, but everything would be tracked. It said the home would be used in a specific way for now, with clear rules about access and space, like the house was no longer ours, just managed. My throat got tight and I tried to turn it into anger again. I asked Ethan if he was trying to take my kids. He said he was not taking them. He said it was a schedule, not a kidnapping. He said it protected the kids from fights and protected both parents from panic moves. He said he had not asked for anything outside normal temporary orders. He said he wanted structure because structure kept children safe. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like the situation was serious. I said he never even tried to talk. He said he tried many times, and I called it control. He said he stopped arguing because arguing with me did not change facts. He said he had collected facts because facts did not change when I changed my story. I looked down again and saw an attached list of supporting information. It was not the full evidence, but it showed categories, receipts with timestamps, location records, saved screenshots, cloud photo metadata, and witness notes. It even referenced a statement from Kelsey. Seeing her name there made my face burn. My manager stepped closer and asked if I needed to go home. I wanted to say no, because leaving would look like guilt. But my hands were shaking. Ethan said he would take Milo from after-school care today, and he would follow the schedule that started immediately. He said I would see the kids at the next listed time, and he said he would not block contact as long as it followed the plan. I wanted to shout that he could not do this, but he already had. It was already done in ink, in a lobby, in front of people who would remember my face. I stood there holding the papers, while Ethan turned and walked out through the glass doors, calm and lawful, like a man who finally stopped asking for permission to protect himself.